What's happening?
Where's my money, bitch?
Good man. Not through Ninja. Ah, that might be it. Welcome. There we go. Welcome to TJ Tuesday. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I think it could work. It sets the stage for where we're at in the world. I can agree with that. Yeah. Let's try it out. See how it flows. Uh-oh. Not hearing Tyler. Let me yeah. No audio for you.
No, I know what it is. I got it. That was dumb. Okay, well, now I gotta read the Rumble rant again. Thank you, Jason Dix. T-Bone is very gay. He just won't admit it. I gotta say it all over again. I don't know what happened there. OBS seemed to have disconnected my mic from my... I don't know. It disconnected and it wasn't on the right source. It had no source selected.
Get it together, bro.
Get it together. Look, it won't be a Tyler Today news stream without at least one issue. Okay? I will guarantee at least one issue per stream. I can do that at least. I can hear you now.
You want to reattempt your pitch at starting with truths?
Oh, okay, yeah. Now I got to reattempt the pitch. Okay, so yeah, you only heard TJ's side of things. My pitch is that we start these streams, at least most of them, depending on what's going on, with Donald Trump's Truth Social post, because I feel like a lot of what he says is relevant, and I feel like he often speaks on the news cycle or things relevant to the news cycle, and it could be something fun to start the shows with. There we go. That was my pitch. That was the elevator pitch.
I think it can work. So
there's a thing that I should have done, and that's called check the fucking audio before I start, because I was sitting here for 2 hours getting things ready. But it's fine. It's whatever. We got it working.
We're working.
We're working on it. It's a one-man show here. Besides TJ, he just shows up. Let's see. Is it even gonna show my? It's not even gonna show the. Thank you. Thank you. I love this so much. It's not even showing my freaking. Go Truth Social, please. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And it's got this over here. Why is this over here? Should be over there. I'm all over the place today. I apologize, guys. I'm not trying to be all over the place. What is he tweeting about today? So this is we didn't do it yesterday, so I'm gonna read some of his from yesterday.
All right.
Great Congressman Greg Stubbe is 100% correct. An unelected Senate staffer, parliamentarian, should not be allowed to hurt the Republican bill. He wants many fantastic things out. No, Donald J. Trump. So I don't know what he's referencing there. I didn't see any stories about that when I was looking through the news. Do you know what he's talking about?
Not quite. No, I know that didn't the Senate pull out a bunch of things from the big beautiful bill?
They were trying to pull out a lot of different things. Yeah, there was a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of things in it that I don't like, but we'll go over that. Great news. Senator Tom Tillis will not be seeking re-election. Great news. And I believe that's because he got a bunch of hate over not voting on the bill.
Gotcha.
For all cost-cutting Republicans, of which I am one, remember, you will have to get reelected. Don't go too crazy. You will make it all up times 10 with growth more than ever before. Where's T-Bone? T-Bone will be joining us later. What I need to do is actually, thank you for reminding me, I need to get the link I sent over to TJ. I need to send that to T-Bone for when he's ready. Remember, he gets off work at 5 Eastern, and I started at 4 Eastern. So we've got at least an hour of show before he gets home. Anyway. And then Joey was messaging me about something. Joey, you want to come up today? Okay, I see what Joey's messaging me about other stuff, and all I have to say, Joey, if you're listening, is yes. Okay. Anyway, continuing with this.
Wow,
What
the
did he share
secret.
here? I don't know if I want to pull this up. This looks like a podcast. One great big beautiful bill is moving along nicely. Make America great again. And as the title suggests, that bill did pass. So he tweeted that yesterday, or truth that. The Trump administration has gotten costs down very substantially for the American consumer. There's never been anything like this. Unfortunately, the bill that he just passed is going to increase the deficit, like what, 300 something, 400 billion in the next year, and that's not counting the year-over-year increase. So I don't know. Tell phony Democrat Senator Chris Coons that I am not offering Iran anything, unlike Obama, who paid them billions under the stupid Road to a Nuclear Weapon GCPOA, which would now be expired. Nor am I even talking to them since we totally obliterated their nuclear facilities. So he's just said they're not even talking. Didn't they have a ceasefire? Like, we agreed to a ceasefire, and then what, all communication cut after that?
Right. It's like they have a ceasefire and they're not pursuing a nuclear deal or something. That's interesting.
Well, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I feel like this whole ordeal with Iran, Israel, and the United States was completely retarded, because we went and struck their nuclear facilities. That was an act of war. Sure, there's arguments to be made that the president has the powers to go and do that, but
Right.
My point is, and I'm leaning more towards Mad Stork's argument in this, is if we're going to go in and do that, then we need to go in and occupy. You can't go strike a country's nuclear facilities and then back off and be like, oh, they're not going to build up arms to attack us. Yeah, in the midst of the ceasefire, they're not going to think about what we just did to them.
I don't know. The way I see it is it's like he offered him a deal. They didn't take it. Iran struck. They didn't take the deal. We dropped, the bunker busters on them. So it's like punching him in the face and being like, are you done? Punching him in the face. Are you done yet? And so.
Yeah, and I see that, and I see that. But what I worry about is that, like, they're getting punched in the face, and they're going to be like, okay, yeah, that's enough. And then they're going to go off, go hit the gym, and then come back when they're a little bit stronger and try again.
Sure. I mean, that's kind of definitely the worry for further escalation. But until we get to that escalation, a ceasefire sounds pretty nice. I don't know.
I mean, see, I'm all for ceasefire. I just worry that we're kicking the can down the road, as Mad Stork has said. We're kicking the can down the road, building up more resentment within their country, and there's a reason they chant "Death to America," not "Death to China." So,
yeah.
But anyway, what did he say here? He said, "See, this has been good so far. That already struck up conversation."
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that it really matters, but a terribly untalented writer for a badly failing Forbes magazine, Dan Alexander.
What an incredible...
I love the way he opens some of these truths. Who probably can't get a meaningful job in the business, has written so inaccurately about me that it is ridiculous. Many others also. The media is mostly fake news, but Forbes doesn't even try to get things right. I haven't spoken to these sleazebags in years. They don't want the facts, and they're so inaccurate purposely about everything. I would have thought Forbes would be dead by now, but it continues to hang on like a bad disease. Isn't it owned by a hostile nation? Anyway, that's what happens when you have bad reporters with evil intentions. Eventually the publication dies. I've happily seen it over and over again.
Yeah, just a jab at the fake news.
Dude, imagine being bored at 4 a.m, because that's when he fucking tweeted this. For his time, it says 7 a.m. for me, but
So have you seen? I don't.
Oh wait,
think
no, I got it wrong. That's 10 a.m. for him.
Oh, gotcha. You're doing the time.
I did it backwards, reversed.
Gotcha.
Corrected.
But like, have you seen the lady that's typing his tweet for him as he's just like rambling about something?
No, what?
Like, yeah. So I don't think his fingers are hitting the keyboard for this. I think he has someone who's like, hey, I want to.
Bless you. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, those are good ones. I think he has someone who's basically a stenographer, and that's why some of his truths can come off as like unhinged rants, because he is just ranting and she's typing it up. I don't know if that's all of them, but yeah.
Next truth.
What we got?
Jerome Too Late Powell and his entire board should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this to happen in the United States. They have failed one of the easiest yet most prestigious jobs in America. They have failed, and they continue to do so. If they were doing their job properly, our country would be saving trillions of dollars in interest cost. The board just sits there and watches. So they are equally to blame. We should be paying 1% interest or better. I mean, as Joey says, like, do we even pay the interest? Our interest rate could just be 0. Fuck it, we don't need interest.
What are
Print
we
it
at?
out of thin air anyway.
We're 4.5%.
We're at 4.5 interest, which is some of the worst.
Yeah.
We're in the lower 30s.
Yeah. Pretty gross. Like, I'm not an economist, but I can recognize that paying less interest is probably better for people. I don't know.
To show people how spoiled countries have become with respect to the United States of America, and I have great respect for Japan, they won't take our rice, and yet they have a massive rice shortage. In other words, we'll just be sending them a letter, and we love having them as a trading partner and for many years to come. So, I guess Trump is upset he's not getting some trade deals with Japan. He's trying to sell our rice over to them. They need our rice. They don't want it.
It's interesting. I don't think that like they aren't obligated to buy from us.
It's just interesting the way he the way he negotiates.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to go make a post about you on my Truth Social. It's not going to be a good one. You're not going to like it. Hopefully, it'll make you come to the table and think things through a little better.
Watch us strike up a trade deal where it's included.
Yeah, well, in a week from now, I'll be reporting on how big trade deal with Japan. They're buying our rice. Thanks to my great negotiation skills.
By posting on social media.
My many posts on Truth Social, the best social media platform. Can I do an ad read? I feel like I should do an ad read for Truth Social over here. Yeah, hang on. Let's do a Truth Social ad read. Oh, what do you know? I have one.
That's perfect timing.
Perfect. All right, here. Let's transition over to that. So we're gonna do a Truth Social ad read. Let's hang on, TJ. I gotta go back to the newsroom for this. I'm sure you understand.
Go for it.
Where is it? Here we go. All right, back to the newsroom, guys. So here's the script. Oh wait, I don't need the script. You guys don't need the script. You come to Truth Social for Donald Trump. You want the truth? You want it fast? You go to Truth Social. You get. I mean, I can't do the voice forever on Donald Trump. Okay, I do the voice better when it comes naturally. But seriously, get Truth Social. If you want to see what the president is tweeting every day, it's another really great social media platform to have, and it's where Donald Trump is most active. If you want to get what Donald Trump is saying, go to Truth Social. It's a great place for online news, discussion, and entertainment. I have the script over here from Rumble, but I don't need it. All you need is Donald Trump. If you like Donald Trump, or if you don't like Donald Trump, go see what he's saying on Truth Social. It's his platform. It's where you'll find him. You might find it on Twitter, but you'll have to wait for it there. So go over to Truth Social, guys, today. Download it now. Do I have anything here? No, it just says join Truth Social. No promo codes or anything. Join Truth Social, guys. Anyway, TJ, we're back.
All right.
All right. We're back. Okay, back to the screen. There we go. Let's see. What did he say on this one? Oh, I brought this one up yesterday talking about the AT&T stuff. He just said, I'm doing a major news conference, or a major conference call with faith leaders from all over the country, and AT&T is totally unable to make their equipment work properly. This is the second time it's happened. If the boss at AT&T, whoever that may be, could get involved, it would be good. There are tens of thousands of people on the line. So, you know, I read about that yesterday. It's nothing new, really. On
Tens
that
of thousands of people on the line?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what call he's referencing. But the reason I brought it up yesterday is because Donald Trump signed that deal for the what is it, Trump Mobile, and it's going to use AT&T. We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah,
I apologize for the long wait on the Faith Leaders conference call. AT&T ought to get its act together. Please pass along the word to tens of thousands of people who are there. We may have to reschedule the call, but we'll use another carrier this time. AT&T obviously doesn't know what they're doing. So I'm guessing he was having a phone call with, like he said, faith leaders, like people within the religious community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was sharing some articles and stuff like that. I'm looking for more of his tweets. Here we go. What is this?
Cologne and perfume. Hey.
Trump victory 45-47 for men cologne limited edition. Trump fragrances are here. They're called Victory 45-47 because they're all about winning, strength, and success. For men and women, get yourself a bottle, and don't forget to get one of your loved ones too. Get one for one of your loved ones too. Enjoy, have fun, and keep winning. It says that look, he tweeted here for men and women, right? But if you zoom in right here,
They both say for men.
it says for men. So false advertising, Trump.
Hey.
Here we go. Donald Trump again spreading fake news. It's unfortunate.
Who's to say women can't wear cologne?
Republicans, the one big beautiful bill, perhaps the greatest and most important of its kind in history, gives the largest tax cuts and border security ever, jobs by the millions, military vet increases, and so much more. The failure to pass means a whopping 68% tax increase, the largest in history. So I feel like Donald Trump is actually being a little bit disingenuous here, because the tax cuts that were proposed in the bill, I feel like a lot of them, which is controversial, right? Because nobody likes taxes, but I feel like a lot of those taxes were unnecessary. I'd much rather we got rid of all of those taxes and we just got rid of the fucking income tax like he said he would do. All these other taxes that are for specific jobs and specific situations, cool, great. Now I have to keep track of more shit when I do my taxes. Awesome. I love it. Why not just get rid of the fucking income tax? That would have been way better for everybody. And
getting rid of the income tax itself is a pipe dream. I think you have to take like these baby steps or whatever to like no tax on tips and no tax on overtime is an incredibly beneficial thing. Like you can't let perfect be the enemy of the good, right?
I mean,
like I don't like the income tax. Like it sucks, but at the same time, to just overhaul everything immediately is. I don't know. He doesn't have a magic wand. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, still, even the tax cuts that they did propose, they're temporary and they're going to cost. I mean, they're going to cost the country money because, what is it? I have an article we'll pull up, but basically, it's projected over the next 5 to 6 years that this bill will directly cause the deficit to increase another 3.69 trillion.
So how much of a tax increase would you be willing to accept to like decrease the deficit?
Well, I'm not for tax increases. If anything, just keep taxes where they're at. Stop increasing, stop decreasing, and then just stop the fucking spending. And then once we get everything under control, then we can talk about some tax cuts and spending again. But we have an issue where they're doing tax cuts in other areas, tax increases in some areas, and then they're just spending, and then we're just going more and more into deficit.
It's a crazy difficult balance because like the American people are struggling to survive, and being so heavily taxed is an aspect of that. The prices of goods and everything that have gone up so heavily is an aspect of that, and so I don't know. How do you make the lives for the American people better without increasing the deficit in the short term or something? I don't know. It's a difficult balance.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to balance. I mean, well, we can sit here and talk about it, but I don't know if any of us really have an answer to it.
Right, and like that's what I'm saying is like people can say all the time taxation is theft, and which it is, but can advocate for lower taxes but not consider how it affects the deficit or what have you. Like we can scream to the high heavens about it, But when you actually have to put something down on paper as a solution, what does that actually look like? You know what I mean?
Yeah, what does that look like as a policy?
Yeah, it's one thing to, talk about how bad it is for either aspect. It's another thing to actually put something down on paper.
All right, well, we're going to move on to the next tweet. So, guys, of course, we couldn't end Pride Month without a continuation of the greatest breakup in Pride Month. We have this from Donald Trump. Elon Musk knew long before he so strongly endorsed me for president that I was strongly against the EV mandate. It is ridiculous and was always a major part of my campaign. Electric cars are fine, but not everyone should be forced to own one. Elon must get more subsidy than any other human being in history by far. And without subsidies, Elon would probably have to close up shop and head back home to South Africa. No more rocket launches, satellites, or electric car production, and our country would save a fortune. Perhaps we should have Doge take a good hard look at this. Big money to be saved. It is interesting. I don't like Donald Trump making comments about this because I do like Elon Musk companies. I feel like his companies do provide a lot of benefit to the country. Just look at Starlink, for example. Starlink, I mean, even other countries are begging to have Starlink right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't agree with Trump in this tweet. He's just upset that Elon's disagreeing with him. Yep. And Tim did bring up a good point, though. I think Tim stated in his video earlier talking about this that a third of Elon's income from his businesses is due to government subsidies. So 1/3, 33% of what his company makes is due to subsidies.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Like what is that? I wonder what that looks like as an actual number.
Tim might have it up in his video. I recommend you guys go watch his hour-long live segment. He went a little bit more in depth on that. I do have some more stuff that I'll be bringing up about that, but like I said, he goes more in depth.
Yeah, I see them clashing heads, and I think a lot of it is, I don't know, a lot of it's dumb. I don't think the infighting is necessary. I think Elon is allowed to call out negative aspects of the big beautiful bill or whatever, and I don't think he necessarily. I don't think he's calling it out because it's negatively impacting him. I think Elon's intentions are that he does not like the deficit increase or whatever. So
right. Donald Trump shared this from CNBC, just the title. Gas prices are expected to fall. It's going to be the cheapest summer since 2021, one expert says. We'll see about that. Likely not in California, because California loves hiking up taxes on gas.
And so I'm wondering if, how do I word this? If we're living in like some blue states and gas is going down throughout the country, but we aren't seeing gas go down in our states, is there some nefarious action taking place by our state governments to keep prices up, maybe to be a smudge on Trump's resume or something like that? Like, are they defrauding the consumer or something like that? I don't know.
I mean, it's a good question. I do have a lot of stories to get to, so I want to try to get through the last of his.
I didn't realize how many truths he sends out a day.
He sends a lot. Yeah, that was just in the past maybe 24 or 30 hours. So,
right.
This one was in the last hour, has to do with the big beautiful bill. He said almost all of our great Republicans in the United States Senate have passed our one big beautiful bill. It is no longer a House bill or a Senate bill. It is everyone's bill. There is so much to be proud of, and everyone got a major policy win. But the biggest winner of them all will be the American people. Excuse me. Who will have permanently lower taxes, higher wages, and take-home pay, secure borders, and stronger and more powerful military. Additionally, Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security benefits are not being cut, but are being strengthened and protected from the radical and destructive Democrats by eliminating waste, fraud and abuse from those programs. We can have all of this right now, but only if the House GOP unites, ignores its occasional grandstanders, you know who you are, and does the right thing, which is sending this bill to my desk. We are on schedule. Let's keep it going and be done before you and your family go on July 4th vacation. The American people need and deserve it. They sent us here. Get it done. Our country is going to explode with massive growth, even more than it already has since I was reelected. Between the growth, this bill, our tariffs, and more, the one big beautiful bill sets the United States down a fiscal path by greatly reducing our federal deficit and setting us on a course for enormous prosperity in the new and wonderful golden age of America. To my GOP friends in the House, stay united, have fun, and vote yay. God bless you all. So this does not lower the deficit. I don't know what he's talking about. This does not reduce our deficit. It is not projected to reduce our deficit in any way, even with the projected growths of the deficit, growth coming from this bill. No, it does not reduce the deficit at all. So Trump is either ignorant or lying. So,
well, does it reduce the amount that it would have gone up? Like, let's say it's going up by $3 trillion. Like, if moves weren't made within the bill, then would it have gone up $5 trillion? And so is that the reduction that he's talking about?
Where's my money, bitch?
Nice.
Hello, Jason Dix again with the $1. He said T-Bone T-Bone likes men, hairy men.
Dude, that's funny.
And Joey had to come in from his Outworld Live account. He said it's true.
I'm not saying that. That's what people have told me. So
look. I'm looking at my goals down here. Wait, here we go. My hand was getting cut off down here. I'm looking at my goals down here. We're almost at. I don't know how to reset it because I have not gotten $50 of Rumble rants. Maybe in the past like 2 weeks I have, but we're almost at the goal of 50. And when that sounds off, you'll get the grunt birthday sound effect. I don't think TJ's heard it yet.
I've heard the grunt birthday sound effect plenty of times, my friend.
No. I'm saying on stream. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to hear it on stream because it goes.
Yeah, I would always turn on that skull. That was.
Oh no, it was a must.
Yeah.
There's no way you can't. My brother used to argue with me. He's like, "No, I don't want to hear it." And I'm like, "What is wrong with you?"
That skull and the "I would have been your daddy" skull. Those are the greatest.
What?
You don't know that?
What is that one?
It's the skull. It's IWHBYD, so it's just the acronym for it. But the full saying is "I would have been your daddy, but a dog beat me over the fence," and it changes the dialogue to more inappropriate things.
What?
Yeah, so it's like the rated R filter. Come on, you know about Grunt Birthday, but you don't know about that one.
Money, bitch.
Oh, Jason Dix just posted another one. He said, "How much money are you shy?" I think with that one, I'm either another $1 or $2 away from the goal. But I can wait for reference though. I change the goal every time. I change it. I up it by 10 every time. So once I hit 50, I will probably up it to 60. It's just I'm just saying we're close to the goal, and I love the sound effect.
Drum roll, please.
Sound effect, please. Okay, we got another really good post from Trump here. He said, because of the violence and criminality I've seen due to the open border policy of sleepy Joe Biden, in particular allowing millions of people into our country who shouldn't be here, I wanted something representative to show how we fight back. And then it happened. I saw a picture of Alcatraz looking so foreboding, and I said, we're going to look into renovating and rebuilding the famous Alcatraz. Oh, another one. Oh, we got $5 from Jason Dix. Thank you, Jason Dix. Yes.
There it is. Love it.
Hell yeah. I believe Jason Dix is Atmore from the Timcast Discord. So thank you very much, Atmore. Jason Dix. That's his alter ego, I guess. Jason Dix.
Dude, he's got something against T-Bone, or maybe he's just trying to help.
No, it's like your 30 seconds. It's like your 30 seconds meme. T-Bone's gay. Everyone loves the reaction from T-Bone. Some people believe he's gay. Some people don't. They just like the reaction. It's a meme.
I can buy it.
We just need to get people to start rumble ranting about your 30 seconds. Like, okay, the next $5 rumble rant we get, I'll give TJ the floor for 30 seconds. However that 30 seconds turns out to be.
Phenomenal.
Where's my money,
Another
bitch?
Rumble rant. He said, "Call me Atmore."
All right.
Okay, Atmore has sent in another Rumble rant. $1. Another
Dude,
dollar. What does that bring?
Atmore's he's in the club right now.
Dude, he's making it rain on me today. He found out I have a channel, and he's like, "Let's just go make it rain on Tyler today." That's amazing, man. I do appreciate it. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Wait, now I have to. Oh wait, now I have to pause and go update the. This is a good problem to have. This is a good problem to have. I have to pause and go update the goal now.
Dude, you got halfway through reading the.
I know. Here, I'll finish reading it. So he was talking about renovating and rebuilding the famous Alcatraz prison, sitting on high on the bay, surrounded by sharks. What a symbol it is and will be. Conceptual work started 6 months ago, and various prison development firms are looking at doing it with us. Still a little early, but a lot of promise. And something I want to jump to, and we can go back to this, but directly related to this, Trump visits Florida's Alligator Alcatraz as new ICE detention center opens today. This opened today.
Oh damn!
So
That's
I
cool.
also have a video from Nick Sortor showing a bit of it.
That's awesome.
Atmore sent another $5.
Where's my
I'm gonna
money,
have to.
bitch?
I'm not gonna be able to update this goal quick enough. Hang on.
Side boob muscle.
Who
shirt.
is this side
boob
boob muscle
bitch.
shirt wearing man?
Oh,
It's some guy
dude,
that I
you
give
can
30
tell?
seconds to talk every now and again.
So I get my 30 seconds.
You have my permission, sure.
All right. So I'm going to say that I'm a big advocate for the reopening of Alcatraz. I don't see why it would be a bad thing. Oh, it's inhumane because there are sharks around or something like that. Which, if you're not swimming, you don't have to worry about the sharks.
Wait,
and
TJ, I gotta interrupt you for this.
Bro, I thought I had 30 seconds. Oh damn!
No, Atmore hit our $60 goal. I had to sound it because he did it too quick. I couldn't fix it. I had to sound it manually.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Atmore. That's really awesome, dude. We have 26 amazing people in the stream.
What
And
up,
we have
lads?
someone in the chat that said they came from the quartering raid. Hello. Thank you for coming back. Make sure you
Yeah,
guys hit the
bro.
like on the stream. The goal today is the goal is only 10. We got 27 people in here right now. We could hit that.
Let's go.
Anyway, TJ, let's reset the clock on that 30 seconds I gave you.
So I have this interesting theory now that I'm learning about Trump trying to promote Alcatraz. Do you think that there's any sort of like dick measuring competition going on right now as DeSantis is open up Alligator Alcatraz? Trump is like, well, I got to open like old Alcatraz, and they're both just like seeing who can have the best prison.
I think you were almost there. I think you were so close. I think it is a dick measuring contest, but it's not between Trump and DeSantis. It's between
the alligators
DeSantis
and the sharks.
and fucking Newsom. Because
Interesting.
Alcatraz is in California, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
And if Newsom isn't opening it up, you have DeSantis over here being like, "Hey Trump, look at this, look what we made you," you know.
that is fair. But how? Okay, so would DeSantis have to work with Trump to reopen Alcatraz, or would Trump?
You mean
have to-
Newsom?
sorry, yeah. Would Trump have to work with Newsom?
Likely,
Like,
because it would be he wants to open it for immigration detention, so he would have to work with the federal. There would have to be federal involvement for sure.
Unless there's a way for the federal government to like commandeer the land, I guess.
I mean that's a good point. I don't know if Alcatraz is federal land or not.
Dude, that would be an awesome slap in the face if it was federal land and we reopened it for illegal immigrant detention,
Where's my
and
money, bitch?
Newsom couldn't say anything about it.
He's making it rain. He's making it rain.
Let's go, bud.
Atmore, he said it's only money, can't take it with you. Alcatraz is in San Francisco. That's what I thought, which I only learned that recently, and that did blow my mind a little bit because I live in California and I should go see the island. I don't think you can. I'm 90% sure you can't go to the island because it's dangerous to go there.
Swim out there.
But maybe I can go visit, see it from the coast or something. Go fish off the coast.
I could probably take you on a tour of it because I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 and did a lot of skating around that. By the way, I'm super excited. In 10 days, we get the drop of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. I already have it pre-ordered. I played the demo and just had.
Are those new or remaster?
They're remasters.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, so it's 3 remastered and 4 remastered in the same game. But dude, I was just blaring CKY's 96 Quite Better Beings as I was skating, and it brought me back to my childhood, man. It was great.
Oh yeah. Well, how about we read this article a little bit though?
Yeah. Sorry for the tangent. We're talking
Again,
about
before we read the article, we now have 32 people in here.
welcome.
32 people. Hell yeah, guys. Drop a like on the stream. I'm pretty sure all of you are already following, because why would you be here if you weren't following? I mean, but you should follow if you're not. So, okay, so we can get the brief right here. So, President Donald Trump is visiting the new ICE detention facility in the Florida Everglades today. The center was built after Governor Ron DeSantis used emergency powers to authorize its construction. The new facility has faced criticism from environmental groups and the Miccosukee Indian tribe. I probably butchered that.
Good job.
If you guys have seen my show before, you know names are my fucking kryptonite. So, Miami. Wait, Miami. What is that? Florida. I'm assuming.
Where's my money, bitch?
Oh, wait. It's gonna sound the other effect too. Hang on. We gotta wait. It should do it, I think. Oh wait, it might not do it because I'm midstream. I'm gonna do it. I'll do it manually. I got you. The goal sounded again. Boom.
There it is.
Another one from Atmore. Another $5. Dude, you're making it rain on me today. You're gonna make me blush.
The amount of dopamine that the grunt birthday sound gives to me, just like I'm conditioned like Pavlov's dog.
I just want everyone to know that all funding, all TTN funding this month is going to the TTN girlfriend birthday fund, because it's her birthday next month.
Bro, I thought I was supposed to get my mic, but all right.
No. Sorry, delayed. If I drop some money on a mic over my girlfriend's birthday, she'll kill me. I'm sorry. Well, depending on how much okay, we'll see what the paycheck from Rumble looks like for last month, because I had a really good last month. Okay, so we'll see what that looks like. All right, I could maybe spare some change. Okay, spare some change. I have to go update all the goals again.
God, you're gonna have to set a higher goal. Just set it to 100 and
just set it to 100. I feel like Atmore will just do it.
You know what? If he,
I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'm not. I don't want to be greedy though. I feel greedy every time I up this. I don't want to do 100. I'm just gonna do another 10. I don't want to do 100.
All right. You're gonna knock that out in 2 super chats, and then you're gonna have to update it again, and you're just gonna spend the whole.
And then my other co-host is in the chat, Job today. He said, "What about my PC?" He said, "Me first, then the girlfriend." I'm sorry, Job, but I got to do something for her birthday. I mean, I would like to take her somewhere nice. I don't have a lot of funds. I'm trying to get some money so we can go somewhere nice.
Job gets his PC. She gets flowers.
Job can get his PC after TJ gets his mic, because that's cheaper.
All right. So what do we got about Alligator Alcatraz?
So yeah, President Trump is in Florida on Tuesday to visit the state's large new immigration detention center in the Everglades, dubbed the Alligator Alcatraz. So the backstory to this is DeSantis used emergency powers to authorize the construction. This is a 30 square mile remote airfield. Let's see. The quick construction process for the center, which is expected to cost about $450 million per year, began about a week ago. Tent structures are being set up to house about 5,000 immigrants at any given time by the end of July. Signs put up by the state show there will be 1,000 staff on site, along with 200 security cameras. Excuse me. Also, state officials say indoor facilities are air conditioned. Excuse me, I keep burping. Last week, the governor commented on the new center and its Alligator Alcatraz nickname. Clearly, from a security perspective, if someone escapes, there are a lot of alligators, and you're going to have to contend with. No one's going anywhere once you do that. It's as safe and secure as it can be. So yeah, they're literally putting this thing in the middle of the Everglades. It's going to be put in the middle of a swamp. So if they get out, good luck.
I wonder if over time, like, alligators are going to slowly work their way closer and closer, because they're just going to be drooling over the fresh meat.
Yeah, they'll just get used to it, and then some of them will have escaped. They'll have a taste for it. They'll be clamoring at the gate, waiting for one of them to jump out.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they have any issues with alligators getting into the facility.
Yo, what's up, Rage Flowers? And then Shitty Gov said, how long you been with your girlfriend? Roses and chocolate should suffice. I have been with her this upcoming January, I believe, makes 7 years.
Go you guys.
And then Maxime said, meh, don't worry about the girlfriend. I know, I'm in California. I find plenty of those, right? Not really. A lot of them in California are skanks, but alligators are the OP predators, said Rage Flowers, and they're tasty. Yes, that's true. I've been to Bass Pro Shop. They have these alligator nuggets you can get. Delicious.
I've never eaten alligator. That's wild.
You've never had alligator?
I have not.
You ever had like any, like, I don't know, wild creature?
I mean, I get my buck every year.
Buck? What about squirrel? You like rabbit or squirrel or?
I don't know if I've had rabbit or squirrel. Quail and grouse, just a couple of birds. If we had a hunting trip that didn't go too well, we might pull a bird out of the woods. But
I mean, rabbit tastes really good.
Gotcha. I heard that like if in a survival situation, you shouldn't eat rabbits because they have like no nutrients to them, and in order to get all the nutrients, you'd have to like, make bone broth out of the bones and stuff like that.
It's very true. It's not something you want to make a staple for your diet, rabbit's really good, and honestly, I recommend everyone at least once in their life eat a rabbit heart. It tastes like at least the one my friend gave me. He cooked. I watched him cook it up, and I was very reluctant. And he kept telling me, "No, it tastes like steak. Tastes like steak." And I was like, "I don't believe you, bro." And he's like, "Dude, trust me. It tastes like steak. If it doesn't taste like steak, never believe anything I say ever again." I was like, "All right."
That's fair.
So I tried it, and I gotta say, it did taste like steak, and it tasted like the best steak I've ever had in my life.
Yep, deer heart. We you only get a single meal out of a deer heart when you get one, and that was always my favorite growing up as a kid.
I think this wins comment of the day.
Uh-oh.
Got this from Fishy. He said, "Now that's a lot of swamp ass going on."
Yeah, guaranteed. Probably not. They got air conditioners.
Yeah,
so
he did say they have air conditioning, right? But hey, what if they go out for some yard time, TJ? Oof. That's a lot of swamp ass. Yeah.
Clever. I like it.
Gators will develop a taste for Tex-Mex.
Bro.
But they're not in Texas.
Can you imagine the first story coming out of illegal immigrant attempts to
escapes alligator Alcatraz, found half eaten.
Yeah, dude. Like that's a real news story that could happen. That's Florida man shit.
You have to eat more than just rabbit. Yeah, bunny rabbit is good. Jackrabbit sucks. I actually think I had the heart of a jackrabbit. I think the heart I had was jackrabbit. So I'd have to ask. Anyway, what else does it say here? Says the short timeline from approval to construction is in part what's causing major backlash from environmental groups and the Indian tribe. Not going to try to say that name again. Saying the plans didn't go through a full review or public comment. Two groups, Friends of the Everglades and the Center for Biological Diversity, filed a federal lawsuit late last week. DeSantis countered the claims, saying the center will have no negative environmental effects while touting increased funding in recent years for the Everglade restoration. Yeah, I mean, if these groups have, like, a claim to how this would affect the environment in some negative way, sure, bring the claim, but I think it's really ridiculous to have all this fucking red tape, like, oh, no, you have to have, like, public comment, and you have to go through all this approval, and it's like, no, is it gonna displace an endangered animal? Is it gonna block some waterways? No? Okay, cool. Fucking put it there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of logging operations in Oregon weren't able to take place because of the spotted owl or something like that. So the environmentalists will always find, or the smolt down in California.
Melted Mind making an appearance. We've been graced by the appearance of Melted Mind Media in the chat, and he's got one for you, TJ.
That's clever.
TJ Plain Man, hey.
Hey, be more constructive with your insults.
Plain Man Tuesdays. Hey, if they're helping alligator populations, that's great, right? Hey, that's a good argument, Rage Flowers. How's this gonna help how's this gonna negatively affect the environment if you're getting free food every once in a while for the alligators?
You know what? They're
And,
gonna
and
be
let's
some of
let's
the
say
strongest.
let's say they perish due to some other reasons, not alligators, because it is the Everglades. They're dangerous. Well, then they're food for the fungus. I don't know.
Dude, circle of life.
Circle of life, man.
It'll live on. It'll be fine.
I don't know what we're talking about, but I disagree with Tyler. You hear
As
that,
you
guys?
should.
You hear
As you
that,
should.
guys? Melted Mind Media is against detaining illegal immigrants. You heard it here first. He is all for the illegal staying here. He said he disagrees with me. So just gonna straw man the shit out of him.
I like it.
Okay, but yeah, I mean that's basically the news on this. People are upset because of the quick construction of this, but I don't see any issue with it. We gotta hold these people somewhere.
The fact that Trump is visiting, that's a good sign.
Well, and a quick point I want to bring up too is the same people that will complain about this are the exact same people that will complain about illegal immigrants not getting their due process. And it's like, well, you want due process, we need somewhere to hold them.
Yeah.
So, need it. We need it. Gators will need Pepto with all the indigestion they're about to have.
I think we can say that we are living in the funniest timeline. Who would have thought alligator Alcatraz was actually going to be a thing? This is incredible.
Trump willed it into existence with his alligator moat for the border.
I think so.
Fishy says, against feeding literal dinosaurs, not cool. Melton said, yeah, F it. Bring it all in. The big booty illegal Latinas. So he's on, what's his name?
Prime time.
Prime time, Alex Stein. Alex Stein 99. He's on Alex Stein's team there. Understandable. I understand the perspective there.
You know, what about opening
Dude, Rage Flowers just gave me a great idea. Sorry, but Rage Flowers, excellent idea. Can I get a job as a government employee where I can set up a live stream camera similar to Chicken City, but for illegal immigrants at these detention centers? And when you hit a certain threshold, we can drop tacos in the room or something.
I think that once a month we should open the gate, and anyone who wants to try their luck at escaping the alligators can leave the facility. And
dude,
if they make it back, then they have citizenship.
They're making their own English fucking Squid Game. Here's what you do. Get all the fucking illegals, and the last one at the end of the Squid Game gets citizenship.
There it is.
Except because of all the illegal shit they did during the Squid Game, they just go right to prison.
It's dark, brother.
Problem solved, guys.
$50 super chat opens a random cell door. That's brilliant, Rage Flowers. That's brilliant.
No, wait, Rage Flowers, you're almost there. A $50 super chat opens 2 cell doors. And then it'll open the exit when one of them are no longer standing.
It'll also open an alligator pen. And so
No, that's what the door opens up to. It opens up to the alligator pen that you now have to traverse. That's the next obstacle. Your first obstacle was fighting for your life. The next obstacle is dodging dinosaurs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dodging dinosaurs.
Okay, moving on, because I did want to show a clip. We have this from Nick Sortor showing actually a bit of what's going on here. So he actually has some footage of inside this place. And honestly, if I was going to be detained somewhere, doesn't look half bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. Bunks kind of suck, but better than sleeping on the floor.
Those bathrooms are pretty shitty, not gonna lie.
They're
But
functional.
I mean, those are probably some of the, because it's supposed to be a prison. It's supposed to be a detention center, right? Those are probably the best toilets I've ever seen in a prison.
Right. Sparing no expense.
I mean, you get a lot more privacy than you normally would.
A little nicer than kids in cages, right?
Well, I mean, they're in a cage, but
But it's nicer than just...
it's still a cage. Like, I mean, he looked up.
Yeah.
It's a cage, but
It is.
Anyway, are we already at 50 minutes into the show? We're having such a great time today. You know that, TJ?
I'm digging it.
Digging it. Let's move on over here. Boom. We're gonna move back to this screen, and let me what I want to pull up next. Oh, okay. I thought this was interesting. Let's look at this one. How do you feel about this? Now, I couldn't find where Trump had said this, but I trust Nick Sortor. I trust his reporting. He said, breaking. President Trump just said Laura Trump is his first choice to replace Tom Tillis in the Senate, per reporters in Air Force One.
I think she'd be great. I've seen like some interviews with her, and I don't know. I think she's strong-minded, strong-willed. I think she'd do great.
I mean, I don't know enough about her to really say if she'd do bad or not. If she wants to run, I say go for it. You know, if the people in Tom Tillis's area want her, they'll elect her. You know, if his constituents want to choose her over him, then it'll happen.
Yep.
But
I don't know too much about Tom Tillis, but
I just know that Donald Trump's beefing with him because of the big beautiful bill stuff.
Right.
Big beefing. Okay, wait, that's different.
He nice to know his voting record and his policies or whatever. Just trying to determine who I like better, but
Fishy said, fair point, Melted, talking about the big booty Latinas. And then Rage Flower says, $1 million movie idea. Yeah, it's just... Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, it's not just a hole out in the open. I mean, yeah, I would hope not. Whatever happened to Matt Gaetz? Good question. What happened to Matt Gaetz?
He's doing his live stream for like OAN or something like that, right?
Huh.
I've seen a couple of recent interviews that he's conducted with some people. I think I was seeing him sort of make the anti-war sort of argument during the whole Iran strikes and all that. So he's out there doing it. I'm interested to see if there's any sort of 4D chess move with him, or if he is really just getting out of politics and really is just focusing on media. But we'll see. I like the guy, so hope there's big things for him.
I mean, yeah, and we'll see. He could run for something in the upcoming elections too.
Yeah. Time will tell.
Time will come. Time will come. Who's tagging me on the Timcast Discord? Oh, okay. Never mind. They're announcing who's the guest tonight. Tonight on Timcast IRL, you have Braxton McCoy. I don't know who Braxton McCoy is, but I look forward to tuning in. So yeah,
it'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
Maybe I can get my call in tonight.
Maybe you can get your call in tonight. We'll do.
It's not a yes or no.
Yeah, no, you got to stop asking yes or no questions, man.
I'm slacking. All right, so what about the big beautiful bill? Narrowly passes.
Sorry, I was replying to comments and concerns. TJ, have you ever thought about dropping this Tyler guy? This show would be a lot better without him.
Damn.
Hey, that's true, man. I mean, I don't know what you're doing with me up here. Fucking TJ today, man. TJ today. After hours of stalemate, Republicans in the U.S. Senate have narrowly passed Donald Trump's mega bill on tax and spending, meaning the proposed legislation has cleared one of its key hurdles. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed with Vice President J.D. Vance casting a tie-breaking vote after more than 24 hours of debate. I'm wondering if they're including in that 24 hours of debate the over 15 hours they took to read this thing word for word.
I think legislation should be passed so that all bills have to be read out in full. Like,
I mean, I agree, yeah.
I don't see how people are okay voting on something without it being...
I think it should be live streamed and read publicly, yeah. And if people want to complain about the length it takes to read it, I don't know, maybe don't make a bill that takes fucking 15 hours to read.
Yep.
Just a thought. But anyway, so it now heads back to the House or the lower chamber, where it still faces more opposition. An earlier version was cleared by House Republicans by a single vote margin. Trump had given the Republican-controlled Congress a deadline of the 4th of July to send him a final version of the bill into law, for him to sign into law. The bill, as amendment is passed, Vance said on Tuesday afternoon, a moment that was met by applause among Senate Republicans while Democrats sank into their seats and shook their heads in disapproval. So yeah, JD Vance had to come in and break the tie on this, and I fully agree that, you know, that I should rephrase. It's not that I fully agree. What I meant to say is that I fully understand why this happened. There's a lot of things in this bill that people don't like. That's why you see Elon talking about it. You see Thomas Massey talking about it. Donald Trump was even making comments recently about like going after Rand Paul. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like what's in this bill because they see what's going to happen in the future because of this bill. It has some things that are good in the short term. I love what they're doing with ICE. They're increasing the budget of ICE by 365%. That is a must if we're going to get the mass deportations a lot of us want to see. But we're also increasing the deficit. There's a lot of spending. There's a lot of cuts to... I don't know about the Medicaid cuts and stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff about that. It's supposed to be about waste and fraud. We'll see if that's what actually got cut, because there could be a lot of people that actually need that care, and they're not going to be on it anymore.
So now that it's... So they altered it and they passed it in the Senate. Does it now go back to the House for a second vote on?
I think the House gets a chance to make edits.
So it can go back and forth multiple times. Because if the House edits, then does it go back to the Senate to get another vote on it?
Good question. Oh wait, Rage Flowers has something.
Yeah, I think he's right.
What'd he say? He said, I mean, after the whole debacle of reading it out loud, I imagine they voted it down. Ha. No, they didn't vote it down. It was a 50-50. And
no, he said imagine if they did.
Oh, imagine if they did. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this brings up something. Can we stop having all these omnibus bills? Government is stupid. Just going to buy land and hide. Fishy says, bingo on the length of reading a bill, Tyler. Just the idea of omnibus seems shady as fuck. Pretty sure omnibus means you get fucked by 50 dicks. Yeah, that's about what it is. And I've had this conversation with Matt Stork. Why don't we have single issue voter bills? And there is a good reason for that that I hadn't considered. Matt Stork had told me when we had our conversation about it. And essentially what it is that you can have these single issue bills. The reason they don't work is because you have all these slimy motherfuckers in the Senate that they have these bills, and they're like, hey, I have this bill. Vote on this bill. I'll vote on your bill. Okay, cool. Vote comes up. I vote for your bill. My bill comes up. You don't vote for mine. I get fucked, and you get your vote. And that's what would happen. So it would be a bunch of shady dealings and unkept promises, and then we would get a bunch of bullshit votes, which maybe that system is better, but the system we have now, both sides get a little bit of what they want, and everyone gets a little fucked.
Well, I don't think it should be wheeling and dealing and making shady deals. It should be you're voting on if this is something that your constituents would want or not.
That's just not how politics works, unfortunately. I would love for that.
Yeah.
I would love for that so much.
But that's the thing. Like if your bill does not have the merits to pass on its own without you making shady deals, and you get screwed over on a shady deal, well, then maybe you should have put up a better bill in the first place.
I mean, yeah. I agree.
Maybe that bill shouldn't have passed if you can't get it, even with doing your shady wheeling and dealing. I don't know. Just a quick counter to that point, I guess. In theory,
I blame TJ, bro. Use your Rain Man retarded powers to fix the government, not win points in a Rumble chat.
You know what? I'm gonna steal from Melted.
You know what? I'm gonna steal from Melted. Wait. I don't know if that's Melted Mind or Melted Mind Media. You might have to do Melted Mind. Because he might be typing from his channel.
There's no numbers. It's just Melted Mind. I'll try it. It wasn't found.
Melted Mind, not found. So maybe it is media. I'd love to see our politicians go back to dueling, hitting each other with walking sticks and other fun stuff. Hey, we might not be far from that, Fishy. You might want to see that, but or might think you want to see that, but I don't think any of us truly do.
there was that Democrat who was like holding up his cane in the middle of a hearing or something like that, or the middle of a vote. No, it was the middle of the State of the Union.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. So
Anyway,
I think he was trying to make a reference. I'm gonna beat you.
But yeah, a lot of people are gonna be talking about the big beautiful bill. My opinion on it is a lot of good, a lot of bad. Overall, I fucking hate the government. That's about my comment on it. Government fucking sucks. They never do anything right. They did a couple of things I like. Yay. Okay.
So here's a quick question. If the tax if the tax cuts were not included and the American people were getting taxed more, that would mean that the government had more money, meaning the deficit would go up less, right? Because they would be taking.
If they did not remove some taxes, or if they did not add additional tax provisions, yes, that would have. That is costing the government money technically because they're not getting that revenue.
I feel like there's a level of manipulative framing in saying that, like, if you're gonna cut taxes, then the deficit's gonna increase, and that's just how it works. But like, so are the people who are upset that the deficit is increasing, are they angry that the American people are not getting taxed more to pay for the deficit?
They're upset that we're getting.
Hold on. You get the concept, though.
I get the concept, but what they're upset about is that, crap, I just had it. What they're upset about is that, oh, we hit it. The 10 light goal. Hell yeah.
Well,
Thank you guys. Yay! Distracted me even more. What was I gonna say?
Deficit.
Do
you want me to remake my point?
Sure, because I'm trying to remember what I was going to say.
Right. So I was saying that, if the American people are taxed more, the deficit goes down. And so are the people who are, ranting and raving about the deficit going up, are they angry that the American people are being taxed less?
Because I remember what I was going to say, and I do understand what you're saying. So what I was trying to say before I got distracted is that people like Elon Musk and myself are upset. Not because people are getting tax cuts. Tax cuts are great. Tax cuts are great. I don't think we should have any taxes if that was ever possible, but I think some bare minimum of taxes is required. It's just an unfortunate reality. But people are upset not because of the tax cuts. They're upset because we got tax cuts and we didn't get spending cuts in addition to that. We got tax cut with no spending cut.
I mean, that is a fair.
And that's what Elon's mad about, because if you notice, Elon's not complaining about the tax cuts. He's complaining that the spending is over.
Well, yes. And while I agree with that, I just think that, let's say that the deficit is going to increase by $3 billion. But if the tax cuts were not included, it would only trillion, right? But if we didn't get the tax cuts, it would only increase by $2 trillion. Well, I think that we should be mad about the $2 trillion and not the extra trillion that's coming through the tax cuts. I don't know. Like, I don't.
I mean, I'm still of the same opinion as Joey. Like, I mean, maybe we should just say fuck it and ignore the debt, let it explode, whatever. Fuck it. Build as much as we can until it explodes.
Steal the China from the Titanic as it's sinking?
No, not even that. Just like we're building an economy off of the deficit. So fuck it. Just keep adding to the deficit until someone finally comes in and checks our bullshit and build up as much as we can, so that way when we collapse, we already have a bunch of stuff built up. Because we are going to collapse. The dollar will collapse. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So right. I'm of the same opinion as Joey. Fuck it. Make the deficit infinite, and until someone checks us on it, keep building shit. Fuck it. Who cares? Whatever. I changed my opinion, TJ. This bill was fucking amazing. It did everything right. It was great. I don't care about the deficit anymore. The deficit doesn't matter.
I think it does, but like I was kind of trying to say earlier, balancing the American people's ability to survive with, an increase in the deficit or what have you. Like, I don't know. Maybe I care more about my own survival than the survival of the country. I don't know.
I mean, I think again, I think Joey has it right. Like, the deficit just doesn't matter. Like, what are we paying back when, when it doesn't even exist? That money doesn't exist.
Right.
So, like, why even worry about how high it's getting or worry about paying it back when you literally can't and won't? So, fuck it. It's an imaginary number. Let's just keep inflating it as much as we can and keep using it to our advantage to build more and more stuff and have the world's largest military.
I do think that the Doge cuts should have been codified, and there should have been additional greater efforts to cut other spending so that the deficit didn't increase as much. But I feel like even if the deficit was increasing by 1 trillion instead of 3 trillion, people would then just be raging about the increase of 1 trillion in the exact same way. You know what I mean? Like, if it's impossible to stop the increase because of, the current state of the country or whatever, then people will just move the goalposts to be pissed at whatever it's at.
Yeah, I mean, Rage Flowers makes the point too. Debt will never go away with fiat currency.
Interesting.
It just won't. So, I mean, whatever, I guess. But we do have other stories. I found this story super interesting. This one right here. So Tim was talking about this earlier. DOJ announces its plan to prioritize cases in revoking citizenship.
I feel like that title could be a little bit longer, like revoking citizenship of.
The Justice Department is aggressively prioritizing efforts to strip some Americans of their U.S. citizenship. The department leadership is directing its attorneys to prioritize denaturalization in cases involving naturalized citizens who commit certain crimes, and giving U.S. attorneys wider discretion on when to pursue this tactic. According to a June 11th memo published online, the move is aimed at U.S. citizens who were not born in the country. According to data from 2023, close to 25 million immigrants were naturalized citizens. At least one person has already been denaturalized in recent weeks. On June 13th, a judge ordered the revocation of the citizenship of Elliot Duke, who uses they-them pronouns. Duke is an American military veteran originally from the UK who was convicted for distributing child sex abuse material, something they later admitted they were doing prior to becoming a U.S. citizen. Wow.
So, is this person already in prison? Like,
no.
If they were convicted for distributing...
Or wait, that's a good question.
Or were they convicted of it in the UK?
No, they're originally from the UK. They came here, became a citizen, became a soldier, and then it was found that he did this.
They later admitted they were doing prior to becoming a U.S. citizen. So was he convicted in the UK and then came to the U.S. and lied about any previous convictions, and that is the standard? Like, plus, why isn't he?
I'm not sure. They don't specify his case exactly. They're just using him as an example of a revocation. So they don't specify. I don't have that information.
Right.
But so the interesting about this though is, I mean, I'm in full support of this. If we can remove the citizenship of people who were not born here and have committed crimes similar to what this guy did with, children. Yeah, absolutely remove their citizenship, especially in cases in which, I don't know, they did it prior to becoming a citizen and then they lied about it in their paperwork. If they lie about having committed all these heinous crimes and then they get citizenship and then we find out after the fact, we shouldn't be like, oh, well, they're a citizen now. Oh, well. No, fuck that, dude. Take their citizenship.
Right. That's fraud on a legal U.S. document or whatever, and if revocation of citizenship is the punishment for committing that crime, then so be it.
I mean, I'll go beyond that. If you become a citizen, you have a completely clean record up to this point. You become a citizen. After becoming citizen, you go and commit a heinous crime like grape, because I'm on YouTube, I can't say the actual word. Fuck you, YouTube, and your lack of free speech. Grape. If you commit stuff like that against anyone, especially children, stuff like that, revoke their citizenship. Revoke their citizenship and send them back to wherever they came from. I don't want to have to house them in our prison. Revoke their citizenship, charge them, make them serve their sentence if you have to here, if their home country won't, and then send them home.
Yeah. I think this is another instance of the Trump administration having to like go by the books and follow the law in every action that they take, because guaranteed some of these revocations are going to, get, I mean, they can't do a nationwide injunction anymore, but I'm sure there will be some sort of challenges in court for individuals. And as long as the Trump administration has the law on their side and they're following it by the book, then people aren't going to be able to do shit about it,
So Melted's bringing up some excellent points in the chat. He's talking about how this guy was so the reason they found out he did it prior is because he also did it after joining the army, is what Melted is saying. And then Melted also said that this could also be used to go after communist and Nazi, not people that are considered communist or Nazi, which would be interesting because, we all agree communists aren't people. But the left has kind of altered the definition of Nazi, so I would be worried about how that is used. But if it's like a legitimate white supremacist Nazi that somehow immigrated here from somewhere, sure, revoke his citizenship. I don't want him here.
And I wonder if this will have any... So the mayor of New York, the candidate, I wonder if this sort of process is what they're thinking of using for him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and a lot of people have asked Donald Trump to revoke his citizenship as well.
Right.
And
I'm wondering if they're going to follow the same logic, the same path.
I would have to, I would have to see a good case for that. What I'm more eager to see is him becoming mayor. I really do hope he becomes mayor, because of a lot of the policies that he's talking about would directly go against federal law, and I want Donald Trump to arrest him. I want Donald Trump to arrest the mayor of New York for breaking federal law.
It would make him a martyr, but again, as long as they have the law on their side.
I don't know if it would make him a martyr.
Well, the left would rally behind him in a heartbeat.
Well, sure, they would rally behind him, but he's talked about things like absolutely cutting off all contact with Immigration and Customs Enforcement for New York.
Right.
That's a direct, what is it? You're directly hindering the federal government at that point.
Yeah, direct interference, yeah.
Direct interference, aiding and abetting criminals. So, let's see. Denaturalization is a tactic that was heavily used during the McCarthy era of the 1940s and 50s, and one that was expanded during the Obama administration and grew further during the President Trump's first term. It's meant to strip citizenship from those who have lied about their criminal convictions or membership in illegal groups like the Nazi Party or communists during McCarthyism, or on their citizenship applications. Assistant Attorney General Brett A. Shumat wrote in a memo that pursuing denaturalization will be among the agency's top 5 enforcement priorities for the civil division. So top 5 enforcement priorities for this civil division is going to be denaturalization of people. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, I've said it a few times now. A lot of the stories I keep bringing up are walking us in the direction of mass deportation. This is another tack on the board for mass deportation, because we're going to start denaturalizing a bunch of criminals that shouldn't have citizenship in the first place, and they're going to be wrangled up. I'm excited. I'm excited for it, because I was complaining not that long ago, a week or two ago, about not seeing things happen quick enough, and I'm starting to connect the dots. I see it happening.
See, now you're on board with the whole 9 women can't make a baby in a month concept. These things take time. You have to make sure that you're doing everything properly, And
I'm
then,
impatient. I'm impatient, TJ. If you
I
haven't
know.
noticed.
I know. Dude, I always worry that when I type the word impatient, that I'm accidentally spelling the word impotent, because that would be a very
I'm impotent.
it would be a very terrible autocorrect. So
So the focus on denaturalization is just the latest step by the Trump administration to reshape the nation's immigration system across all levels of government, turning it into a major focus across multiple federal agencies that has come with redefining who is let into the United States or has the right to be an American. Since his return to office, the president has sought to end birthright citizenship and scale back refugee programs. But immigration law experts express serious concerns about the effort's constitutionality and how this could impact families of naturalized citizens. Um, so, I mean, we've talked about this before. The birthright citizenship, he's basically, in his executive order, given amnesty to anyone that was here and naturalized prior to him becoming president. So this would only affect people going forward, which I'm fine with. We had this conversation yesterday. That at some point, there's a line where you're like, okay, they've been here too long. Like, they're a citizen.
right.
They should be considered a citizen at a certain point.
Two things super quick. Just give me 30 seconds. Rage Flowers says warm up the Gators, which is absolutely hilarious. And secondly, how long do you think until the left starts arguing on behalf of this guy who is distributing terrible content of minors? How long until they're like arguing on his behalf and trying to say, no, he should be a citizen, and they're taking the side of a child?
I haven't seen anything yet that would lead me to believe that they would. I don't think this is going to be their guy. I think they need someone else. You know what I mean?
Dude,
I think they learned a little bit from the Kilmar Abrego situation. I think they learned a little bit from that one. I don't think they're just going to jump on this, you know?
See, and that's where I have a difference in opinion, because I don't think that they've learned. And I think that, they're going to try and frame this as a veteran is getting stripped of his citizenship, and that's going to be the narrative they try and push without thinking too deeply about it. And then they're going to look like idiots once the actual details and their false framing is broken. Once the actual details come out and their false framing is broken.
Killing it sense with a great comment here. He said, I could make a baby in 9 seconds. It's women who take so long to make that baby.
Hey.
Damn, he's got a 9-second quitter. All right. The worst thing about politics is what one side passes, the other abused. The other will abuse down the road. Yeah, I mean that's what's unfortunate about this. And I actually had something, I don't have it pulled up right now, but one of Elon's main points of contention about this bill is that it actually removed some federal funding for federal courts enacting certain procedures. Like if they're trying to enforce a certain ruling or enforce like someone coming to the court, they have been reduced in their funding for that. So Elon Musk is now bringing up the concern about how this can be used by Democrats in the future, or just political parties in the future, to hinder judges from stopping BS laws from being put in place. So, because what this essentially does is, with that funding being cut, it now opens Trump to more easily ignore some of these federal rulings because they don't have as much power to enforce it. And that is directly because of this new bill that was passed. And that was one of Elon Musk's major points of contention, because it's not about Trump. It's not at all about Trump. Sure, Trump could abuse it. We're not worried about Trump abusing it. We're worried about people abusing it 8 to 10 years from now, when the federal courts don't have enough funding. Because sure, there was a worry at the beginning of his term this time around with all these nationwide injunctions that were bullshit, but we don't want to hinder their power so much to where they can't do anything. You know, it's about a balance of powers.
Right. It's interesting. I'll have to listen into Elon's arguments about it. Need to learn more about that aspect.
I don't know who to trust in the Elon Trump drama. They probably have a lot of dirt on each other. As far as the Elon Trump drama, I think a lot of it's manufactured. But I also think Elon really does want the deficit to go down, and it's not because of what Trump is doing. But I also like a lot of what Trump got us in this bill. I dislike a lot of it, but I like a lot of it. So I don't know. I'm not really trying to pick a side in this. I'm just pointing out who's right and who's wrong, and on what. So
Right.
because Elon's not right all the time. You know, Elon's been wrong about a lot of stuff, but I think he's bringing up a lot of good points in relation to this bill. But I don't know. Only time will tell, I guess.
One other aspect about the whole big beautiful bill thing and the arguments being made is like it sucks that we've had president after president after president that has just, you know, gotten whatever they needed passed through this omnibus process and whatnot, and then now Trump is trying to take action to counteract the destruction that all of these past presidents have done, and he's being met with the resistance of, no, you shouldn't have the money to be able to go forth with your agenda. We only allow them to overspend to pass their agenda. Like, does that make sense? Like it's going to take fix.
There's the saying, you got to spend money to make money, right? Maybe we got to go
Yeah.
a little bit more in debt to get out of that debt. I don't know, but like I said earlier, I don't really care about the debt at this point. I've changed my mind.
Right.
But Melted Mind, he said, that's the problem with Tyler. That's the problem, Tyler. Trump and the brown-nosed rhinos think that MAGA Republicans are going to win for the next 100 years. Yeah, but like I've been saying, the way that things look today, as of today, if we were to have the election, I think Democrats would win, actually. Or if things don't change the way they are now and we have the midterms, yeah, Democrats win. I don't think Republicans are going to win.
I want to see a JD Vance Thomas Massey ticket.
That would be interesting. And Bush said, I don't think they have dirt on Trump. That would most likely be brushed off no matter what it is. Yeah, if anyone had dirt on Trump at this point, I feel like it would have already happened. It's the same as Obama passing a lot of laws they thought Dems would never lose again. Right? That's fair. Fishy said, I feel exactly the same on the big beautiful bill, Tyler. I like my overtime being mine, though. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, that there's a lot of these taxes. Yeah, a lot of the tax cuts are great. I'm all for tax cuts. I just feel like it's a lot of little things that are not going to benefit us in the long term. Something that would benefit us in the long term is something like getting rid of income tax.
If Fishy doesn't want his overtime being taxed, then he supports increasing the deficit. So maybe he's, you know, maybe he's just okay with all the spending. I don't know. I'm just trying to go back to the point I was making earlier.
But we're nearing the end of the show. I want to move on. The big beautiful bill is really a big fucking bill. There's no way I'm going to talk about it in one stream. We'll talk about this briefly. Marco Rubio says that he has officially killed USAID, and he now reveals future home for foreign assistance programs. So USAID will no longer send foreign assistance across the globe, with the State Department taking over any such programs that President Donald Trump's administration wishes to continue. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced Tuesday. Rubio made the announcement in Tuesday's statement, saying that USAID had for decades failed to ensure the programs it funded actually supported America's interest. The State Department will be taking over foreign assistance programs beginning July 1st. Beyond creating a globe-spanning NGO industrial complex at taxpayer expense, USAID has little to show since the end of the Cold War. Development objectives have rarely been met, instability has often worsened, and anti-American sentiment has only grown. This era of government-sanctioned inefficiency has officially come to an end. Under the Trump administration, we will finally have a foreign funding mission in America that prioritizes our national interest. As of July 1st, USAID will officially cease to implement foreign assistance programs that align with the administration policies on which advance American interest will be administered by the State Department, where they will be delivered with more accountability, strategy, and efficiency, he continued. So I think this is great. We don't need more government agencies. I'm all for just fucking if there are legitimate processes that USAID was taking part in, just fucking slam them under another agency. We need to stop making more and more agencies. for shit. Just rope it all under one fucking agency. You don't need all these different agencies for this crap.
Yeah, it seems like, hey, we tasked you with performing these goals. You failed to do so, so we're taking
over the duties. Yeah,
we're taking over the duties, and we're going to do it right.
Cool. Yeah, which is great. I mean, there's not much to add on this story. The USAID was a big story earlier in the year, all the crazy fraud and things that they were funding. And this is basically the conclusion. This is the conclusion of USAID. Maybe we'll learn more in the future. Maybe there will be repercussions for some of the people with the fraud. We have seen recent court cases that do show we are getting some accountability for people that have a lot of fraud linked to this. There was a recent case with COVID funds being frauded, USAID funds being frauded. So maybe we'll get some repercussions down the line. But I wanted to bring this up as a little closer to that story. But I do have other stories I want to bring up. Do you have anything on USAID before we move on?
Nope, I think it's a phenomenal thing. So
yep, I think it's a nice little cap. A good story. I'm glad they're announcing it's dead. So I wanted to bring this story up. This story is specifically for Nora, is what I tried to say. But my brain went too fast. Sean Diddy Combs' trial jury resumes deliberations as judge responds to another question. So the reason I brought this up is because Diddy's cooked. Diddy is cooked. He's being brought up on RICO charges. The jury came back and asked the judge directly if him handing someone drugs counts as distribution, and the judge said yes.
Wow.
So he's cooked. They're getting him on the very least. They're getting him on RICO, which was the biggest charge. So Diddy's fucked. That's basically the story. I don't need to read this. I could read. Yeah, let's read what the judge said. So Judge Arun Subramanian began by wait, what?
I said good name.
Again, an amazing name to give me. Thank you, internet. Began by addressing with the prosecution and defense a question posed Monday from the jury about one of the alleged racketeering acts, possession with intent to distribute drugs, which relates to the racketeering conspiracy charges Combs is facing. The jury sent a note asking for clarification on the part of the instructions addressing drug distribution. The judge said he would remind jurors of the instructions he gave them on the part of the case before they started deliberating on Monday. Combs' lawyers had pushed for a more expansive response, but prosecutors argued, and the judge agreed, that doing so could end up confusing jurors more. An exchange between the judge and Combs' defense team got a little testy as they wrangled over the response. Can you do what I'm asking or no? The judge asked. Of course, I can do what your honor is asking, one of the defense lawyers responded. Combs, 55, has pleaded not guilty. So yeah, it just talks about 5 jurors have also been on standby in case they're needed to fill in on the main jury. The jury will sift through 7 weeks of, at times, graphic and emotional testimony about the rapper, fashion and reality TV impresario's propensity for violence and his sexual predilections, including drug-fueled sex marathons dubbed freak-offs or hotel nights. Defense lawyer argued that there was no conspiracy and that his conduct did not violate federal laws. But as I stated, the judge basically clarified that, yes, what he did was distributing. So at the very least, he's getting RICO.
I'm a little bit, I don't know. I want to play devil's advocate just a little bit. Which, like, just for the fun of it, because fuck Diddy, right? But, like, let's say that a group of people are smoking a J together and they're, like, passing it around in a circle. Are all of those people able to be, like, charged for distributing because they handed the joint to the next person in the circle? You know what I mean? Like,
It depends on the distribution. In the specific act that they were referencing, he was at a party and he was giving it to someone, not to do it with them, but for them to take. So he was distributing to someone, not for them to hang out, but for them to go and take.
Sure. So, like, let's say that you and your friends get something. And,
actually,
like, 2 friends,
to correct myself, you are correct. What you're saying would be distribution, yes.
It technically would.
It would be distribution, yes.
That's
if I show up with drugs and hang out with my group of friends, me showing up with the drugs and giving it to everybody, I'm distributing. Yes.
I mean, yeah. That's fair. I feel like there's a difference. Like, I wouldn't consider everybody in the smoke circle a drug dealer. They're drug users.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel
Well,
like
yeah, they would all get hit with possession, depending on the state, and then whoever brought the drugs, if they can prove it, would probably be hit with distribution.
But what if? Yeah, okay. What if Diddy wasn't the person who showed up with it? He was just given it by the person who showed up.
But if he was given it, and then he gave it to someone else, he's still distributing.
Yeah, fair. I mean, by the letter of the law, I guess.
Yeah, but
I just feel like there is a difference in there somewhere. You know.
So, are we gonna have you here tomorrow?
I don't know. I might try and head upriver tomorrow.
Okay. Well, just let me know. I do have some Israel Gaza stuff I wanted to talk about. But we're going to talk about this last story instead before I send everybody over to Joey. As far as the Israel Gaza stories I wanted to talk about, essentially the gist of those, I'll talk about them more tomorrow. Gist of those is Donald Trump is mad again at Netanyahu because Netanyahu decided to go and do some of the largest strikes in Gaza that we've seen in the past 2 months, 3 months.
Wait, breaking the ceasefire?
Well, wait, no, Gaza's not a part of the ceasefire.
Gaza, my bad. Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah, but regardless, they're still striking Gaza. And I had some other stories I'll probably pull up. Israel was also announcing how they had taken control of certain areas of Gaza, key points in Gaza, as they stated. So they are still moving in. If someone owns up and says it's theirs, a person will be charged. It's not illegal to do drugs. It's illegal to have drugs. I don't think that's true, because if they can find drugs in your system, then you're gonna get charged with doing drugs. You're not gonna get charged with possession. You're gonna get charged with doing drugs.
Well, you might get charged for.
You'd probably get charged with both.
Being intoxicated in public or something like that, or I feel like there
are laws on the books for being on drugs, though. Melted. There's 100% laws for that. You are correct. You don't typically get charged for doing drugs. You get charged for the possession, but you can absolutely get charged for doing drugs. Yes. No, you can't be charged for doing drugs. I mean, you're just wrong. I'm sorry. He's arguing with me in the chat. I agree to disagree then, Melted. You would have to show me. You would have to show me that, or maybe I have to show you. Is the burden of proof on me or him?
I don't know.
Burden of proof's on one of us. Anyway, State Department bans.
Burden of proof is on whoever wants to prove themselves to be right.
Sure. Public intoxication, similar laws to that probably. I'm sure there's laws that could be stretched to include that, Melted, and I'm sure that it has happened. There's no way there's no law for that. But anyway, I want to talk about this story because this actually relates to what we were talking about earlier with revoking citizenship. Now, this isn't revoking citizenship, but these performers did have their visas revoked, rightly so. State Department bans visas for English punk duo Bob Vallon after Glastonbury performance. Bob Vallon led crowds in chants of "Free, Free Palestine" and "Death, Death, Death to the IDF" at the English Music Festival Saturday. And I talked about this a bit yesterday, and yes, if anyone wants to visit our country but also thinks it's okay to chant "Death, Death" to the IDF, yes, take away their visas. Right. I don't agree with what the IDF is doing. I'm going to go very hard on the IDF tomorrow, talking about what's going on in Gaza. But I do not think we should be allowing people into our country that chant death to our allies like that. You can criticize your allies. We can criticize. I criticize Russia too, but I'm not sitting here chanting "Death, Death, Death" to Russia. I'm not sitting here "Death, Death" to Iran. People that do that shit disgust me. So no, I'm in full support of removing this dude's visa, bar him from entry from the United States. We don't need him here.
Yeah, I'm completely fine with it as well. It's not a matter of free. We've already been over the concept that your speech is not, your visa is not protected by your speech, or however you want to word that. You based upon your views, your visa can be revoked. So.
Yep. Well, I mean that's about it. So he was they were about to go on tour. They had dates set for the United States, and
Which,
yep, looks like they have to cancel it now. So.
to be honest, the damage is already done now that this story has gone viral, because the next big protest in the streets that you see, violent protests that you see, they're going to be chanting that death to the IDF chant as well. Like it's just another phrase that they can all say in unison, not caring what it actually means, just caring that they're part of the club.
Yeah, so it says the State Department banned an English rap punk duo from performing in the United States after they appeared to lead a crowd in chants supporting besieged Gaza residents and wishing death upon Israeli forces. Yeah, as they should be. I mean, if any, I don't know what the laws in the UK are for speech. I know they're not exactly lenient. This guy should be fucking arrested for leading a chant like that, honestly. At least for like, I don't know, a chant like that. Week or two in prison. Nothing crazy. Just a timeout.
It's almost a violent call to action.
It 100% is you're calling for the death of people.
Right.
So I would say, maybe a timeout for this guy. Nothing crazy. Little timeout I think is deserved though. Especially in the UK where you can get in trouble for social media posts where this guy can chant this shit. It's just yeah, stupid. Anyway, that's the last story I have for us today. I will carry on with whatever else I have tomorrow. TJ.
Yeah.
Where can we find you?
I don't have my banner.
Oh, you don't have your banner. I can do it from Rumble Studio. You won't be able to see it, but the stream will. Hang on. Banner. Oh, I can't see it because I'm not full screen. There we go.
Well, anyway,
you can't see it, but the stream can.
Okay, perfect. You can follow me on X, Tarek Reigns. I'll also be, as long as Tyler gives me the green light, I'll be hosting the After Dark in the Discord tonight. So I want all of you guys to show up so I can argue with you, get you up on the stage, and talk about the current ongoings of the world. Take care of yourself, take care of your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay strapped. Peace.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much, TJ. I'm going to go ahead and close things out, and we are going to send everybody over to the Joey of the Cannolis. He should be starting in just a moment if he's not already... He's actually probably already live. I just realized it's already past that time of day. Is he live? Is the Joey Cannoli live? Yes, he is. So I'm going to send you guys over to the Joeys of the Cannolis. But before I do, I want to give a big thank you to Atmore, today's biggest supporter of the channel. My guy made it rain on the channel today. I already sent him a DM, but I'm gonna send him another DM thanking him for that, because that I really do appreciate it. It may just be money to him, but it really does help me a lot. Before we close out today, I do want to go through his Rumble rants again. Let's see, because he did send a lot of them. I want to make sure I didn't miss any. Also because my audio was bad at the start. So all of the Rumble rants today are from Atmore. I guess we were sponsored by Atmore today. Can I say that? So first one, T-Bone is gay. Second Rumble rant, T-Bone likes men. Both of those were a $1 Rumble rant. Another $1 Rumble rant was, how much money are you shy? And that was because I was talking about the goal. And then he proceeded to donate another $5. T-Bone is #1 gay! Exclamation
He seems
point.
to be pretty confident in his statements.
And then he followed that up with another $1. He said, "Call me Atmore. I will call you Atmore, Jason Dix." Atmore sent in another $5 following this. He said, "Who is this side boob muscle shirt wearing man?" And I believe he's talking about Tarek Reigns on X.
Damn right.
And then another $5. He said, "It's only money. Can't take it with you. Alcatraz is in San Francisco," because we were talking about the Alcatraz story when he sent that one in. And he ended it with, "I'm a bot. T-Bone is gay." There we go. How much did we get from our sponsor today, Atmore? 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. Got $24 today from my man Atmore. That's awesome, dude.
You're killing it.
Hell yeah. That's really great. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I'm gonna give him a DM. Make sure he knows I'm thankful for that. And again, it's only money to him, but I really do appreciate it. And just so all of you know, again, I'm trying to get money for the month, so I have money to spoil my girlfriend for her birthday. So that's the plan for the month. That's the goal for the month. Help me reach that goal. But other than that, guys, go check out Joey. Go see what he's doing. Go see what he's doing. Go see what he's talking about. And you'll see me later. You'll see me tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Have a good one. Goodbye. Oh, wait. I almost sent the raid without doing my outro. Hang on. Where's the outro? There it is. Play the outro.